you can't have friends and success. You have to choose one or the other. And I'm going to get into why. I got to be honest with you guys, man. And I'm just going to be completely, I'm just going to be very forthright about my personal life and everything on here. I'm trying to find my coffee. I have a brand new coffee that I had in my hand, and I do not know. There it is. Got it. I got to tell you, man, I have been working out in the gym, hiking, running on a treadmill 3 miles a day. I'm now boosting that up to 5 miles a day because 3 miles is starting to get easy. And then on top of that, I'm running a company. I have salespeople all over the country that work for me, and we sell advertisement. And I'm dealing with it. I own a magazine, so we always have interviews and all this stuff and materials. And then on top of that, I'm a father. I'm a father to a 12-year-old boy who is my life and my light. And then I run this podcast. And there just isn't enough time in a day to be able to be successful at things and maintain relationships with people. There just isn't. And I think that the greatest lie that ever gets touted in America is that you could somehow have both. It's like a lie that they tell you when you're young, like, oh no, you should have empathy and care about people and care about relationships and all that because you can be both. You don't need to be this callous jerk or whatever to become successful. But that's not true. It's not true. It's just a lie. I can tell you from being the CEO of a business now for the past 5 years that you find yourself in predicaments often where you have to decide whether or not you're going to be, for the people who work for you, whether or not you're going to be their friend or whether or not you're going to do what's best for the business. You end up encountering that dilemma on a regular basis. And it isn't that the people that work for you, it isn't that you don't care about them, because you do, but you don't have enough time to show it. You just don't have enough time to show it. You're running around doing a million things and you don't have enough time to show it. And that's just with the people who work for you and wanting to make them feel embraced, wanting to make them feel cared about and important, which you do care about them, especially if you are an empathic person like me. But you wind up in a situation where you wake up and you're worried about, are we going to land this Gordon Ramsay interview? Are we going to land this Thomas Keller interview? Are we going to get this magazine? Do we have enough net gains to be able to get this magazine pushed? What markets are we going to push to more this time that we did well in last time? You're waking up and your brain is on this thought process, and you're thinking, what about this? What about that? What about sales this week? How much money is coming in this week? What are we doing with this? What are we doing with that? Blah blah blah. And so you end up on the phone with these people that work for you. Well, they in a way they work for themselves, obviously, because people work for their own needs. But at the end of the day, you rely on these people and you care about these people and you call them, but you end up feeling like your mind is in so many places thinking about all these things that need to be done for the success of the business that you fail to remember that you're talking to a human being. And that's probably the most difficult part of being the president of a company. Because you do have two goals. You have the goal of making a business become successful, but you also have a goal of being a human being and caring about people and their needs. And it becomes very difficult to do both. But aside from that, I want to talk about the even more obvious thing, which is relationships or friendships. Because I got to tell you, like, to be able to get up and say, okay, I'm going to wake up this morning, I'm going to handle my business entrepreneurial stuff, I'm going to handle my business stuff. And then when that's over, I've got to go and eat healthy. I have to cook something at my house that's going to be nutritional and protein rich. And then I need to go to the gym and I need to put in a full workout at the gym. That's going to take an hour and 30 minutes, hitting all the different machines I need to do for my workout, whether it's a push day or a pull day. And then you get out of that. And then, of course, if you're me, I go home and I have to hit the treadmill now, and I'm running on a treadmill trying to clear 3 miles and then get that in before the hike. And then I'm drinking the protein shake, and I got to get the egg white protein powder and mix that in the blender and do all that. And then I'm off to go do the hike. And then it's like, before you know it, your day is over. And then I got to make time for my son daily, which I do, where he calls me and we talk and so on and so forth. And he's obviously getting my time no matter what. He's first in my life. He's top priority, most important. And then, of course, when it's all said and done, then I got to do this podcast, right? And then, of course, there's still work at the space that still needs to be done in here. There's a whole bunch of shit that still needs to be done in here. That takes time. And meanwhile, you have people that that are your friends that call you up and they're just like, hey man, let's hang out. And you got to be like, I can't. No. I have like a million things to do. And, you end up not checking up on people. I have a friend of mine who I'm very close to, named Lance. I really love this guy. He's like my fucking homie for real. Like he's my dude. And I forgot his birthday the other day, because I get so busy with shit. And you just end up feeling like the more successful you become, the more you fail people. And even at times, sometimes I feel like I'm even failing my own son, because it's very hard to be the father you want to be too. When he calls you and he just wants to show you something he drew or something like that, but you're right in the middle of a, like in 2 minutes, you're about to get pulled into a Zoom meeting, and like you have to tell him, like, and they don't understand. He's 12 years old. I mean, he's smart and he understands things, but there's a difference between understanding the basic premise and really understanding. And he doesn't really understand what it means to run a business or be in that position. All he knows is that he's 12 and he drew something and he wants his dad to tell him it's awesome. And he doesn't understand why you have to go be in a meeting with a bunch of fucking goofballs instead of being able to do that. And, but to become a peak performance male, and what I mean by that is to, perform 100% on everything that you do, be the best podcast you can be in the best shape you could be, eat the healthiest you could be, make sure all your responsibilities are taken care of, bills are paid, make sure that, everything in your house is in order, make sure that, everything with your vehicle is in order. Like my car is in the shop right now. I've been dealing with hours and hours on the phone with insurance companies in the shop. And, I mean, it's just, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And to be a peak performer in each category of your life, it requires you to have to be a terrible friend. You can't be there for people. You have no time for people. You become self-absorbed, and you have to be. And because if you drop the ball in any category, it all goes. And then the fucked up part about it is that everybody who's around you really loves the benefit of your success. They love being able to say that they know someone who's successful. They like being able to feel like they're a part of your success. They love that you have money. They can hit you up when they need to borrow money. And many do, believe me. I mean, it's insane how much money I've lent in my lifetime, let alone the last 5 years. But they love, like in a relationship too, you start dating somebody, they love that you have money. They love that you could pay for nice dinners. They love that you could pay for nice hotels. They love that you can drive around in comfy cars with the heat seats, like Drake says. You know what I'm saying? No, my shit come with the heat seats, baby. Woo! Anyway, but no, like they love that you have money. They love that. And they benefit from it. My son loves that every time he wants a new cologne, because he's obsessed with cologne, he loves that he can call me and say, Dad, I want this new cologne. It's $300. And I'm just like, boop. And it just gets mailed to him. He wants a new Xbox game. He gets it. He wants a new Steam game. He gets it. He knows that I will say yes and that I could get him these things and that I have money. And he loves that. And everybody loves the benefit of the money that you have and the success that you obtain. But nobody loves the fact that you're not giving them time and you're not there for them as often as they want you to when that's exactly why you have the money and the success to be able to do things for them. And so it just becomes this sort of catch-22 per se. I think I just spit on my lip. I just spit on my lip. Anyway, I don't really know what else to say on the subject. I just know that it seems apparent to me that when you are okay with a mediocre life, and that's okay if people are, I am absolutely not judging anybody. There's a lot of people who love to live simple lives, and that's okay. My father actually said a long time ago when I was young, he said, people like to live simple lives so they can enjoy them. I understand that. I do. I understand that. And that makes a lot of sense. There's different aspects to success, or different versions of it. And if somebody's interested in just working the same job and just having enough to have basic needs met and just doing their simple thing so that they can enjoy more walks in the park, I'm perfectly okay with that. And I have no judgments to anybody on that. However, that being said, I have noticed that those people have more friends. They have more time for relationships. They have more time for friends. But when the time comes and they need a heart surgery or a bone marrow transplant or something, they won't be able to afford it. And that says a lot about the way that we've designed our country and the way that we, organize our capitalistic landscape. We have a lot of issues as a country, and I understand that. But I mean, I don't do what I do because I want to be a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, and I just want to have more money than everybody else. I do what I do to make sure that college is expensive. I want my kid to be able to have that if he so chooses. And, things that he needs to go to school are expensive. Clothes are expensive for kids who grow and need new clothes every 6 months. And it costs money to see the world and to go on a trip or to be able to have new experiences. It costs money to be able to afford top car insurance so that when your car gets hit, you can have a lot of life becomes a little easier for you. You could pay to have life be a little less stressful. And that's the reason why I do what I do. And it keeps me from being able to build on friendships. But when I have these bad incidences occur in my life, I'm able to navigate through them smoothly because of my financial success. And so it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. And it sucks that you have to have that kind of trade-off because it gets lonely, man. It gets lonely and you can't trust anybody. And Everybody has agendas and everybody's trying to backstab you or use you for your shit, your money. I mean, I can't even tell you how many women have made passes at me or tried to like, you know, feign some, or pretend some that they have some sort of interest in me, when in reality, they're just interested in what I can do for them. I've had that, you know, well, in the past, till I started working out. Now that's changed, dramatically, actually. And so I'll say that, you know, once you modify your looks and work on yourself, that changes. But people are people, and they all have agendas. And at the end of the day, it's lonely, and it sucks. So I feel like you almost have to teach young people at a very young age. You have a choice. Do you want friends or do you want success? And neither one of those answers are wrong, but you need to kind of decide for yourself what kind of person you are. Because that's it. There's only those two people. And people who want success, when they get around people who just want friends, people who want success will use you and crush you and do whatever they can. If there's anything you could do for them to get them to success, you'll get eaten. Because the person who wants friends is going to think that that's all it is between them and the person who wants success. But in reality, it's dog eat dog in that situation. When you get two people who want success in the same room, then the dynamic changes, because now they both know that they're using each other, but it becomes mutual. Hey, there's something you could do for me. Hey, there's something you and I can do for you, and we're going to do shit for each other so we can both become successful. Unless those two people who both want to become successful realize that the other person can't do anything for them, and vice versa, in which case they'll have nothing to do with each other. And then, of course, you have the other scenario, which is two people who just want friendship that end up in the same room together. And usually that ends up being a happy marriage, because they're both just in it for very, you know, healthy, I just want to be your friend reasons. And there's also when you get a person who wants success and are in the same room as someone who wants friendship, it isn't always that the person who wants success chews up the person who wants friendship. Sometimes the person who wants friendship uses enough guilt to suck the life out of the ambitious one and make it so that they become less successful at whatever they're trying to do. But this seems to be the dynamic every time with every two people that ever seem to encounter each other. So I think it's just really good to know, like, what are your goals? Do you want love? Do you want family? Do you want friendship? Do you want relationships? Do you want to have a person in your life that loves you? Or do you want to have enough success financially in your life and in different aspects of your life, and look good and have things like be healthy, eat well, see things, be able to afford good health care, be able to afford good insurance, be able to afford, you know, these things. And if that's what you want, you're not going to have any time for friends. Hey guys, click that little bell so that you can be notified when I make videos in the future. Please like this video. Likes are very important, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.